Hi, Hannah. I'm Lindsay. I like to introduce myself just because I know that we all might not be familiar with names and faces yet. But for my video discussion this week, I also did the Ward versus Wilbanks case. Um, a small detail that you pointed out in your response that I didn't catch when I was researching was that Julia Ward was actually at the beginning of her practicum. I guess I had just assumed by the way that she decided to go with like a formal court hearing that she would be at the end of her practicum because it just seemed like she had experience and knew what she wanted to do. So that was something that you pointed out that I found to be just fascinating. I think you did a good job of covering the case, but something that I found in my own research is that Julia Ward ended up appealing the court's decision. This is from an article that I found, User in Chamberlain, 2024. And Ward had sued the program at Eastern Michigan University, and she cited First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion. So then the judge ended up siding with the initial court's decision, but then she appealed the decision, and there was a settlement in her favor. So it just seemed like the two initial court hearings, like they were siding with the university and that she was violating the code of ethics. But on her final appeal, there was a settlement made. So I just wish I could have found more information about the appeal because all of it just seemed to be like a settlement was made, which I guess makes sense. Like if the issue's done and over with, there's no reason to keep writing about it. But in your response too, you talked about how you grew up Catholic and that you still believe that people and everyone deserve love. And I thought that this was amazing because, you know, how I was raised and what I know about Catholics is that it's a very strict religion. So I guess it was just kind of refreshing to hear from a Catholic that doesn't necessarily side entirely with the church and its beliefs. And something that you put in your response too was that you're able to separate your personal and your professional feelings. I heard you say that, like, as an individual, I might feel one way, but as a counselor, I feel another. And I think that's just very remarkable of you, and I want to give you kudos for that. But kind of going back to the Catholic Church, I guess I just have a question for you. And it's like, did you grow up in, like, a big or a small city, like a rural area? And did the church that you attended, was it big or small? Just because, like I said, in my experience, it's like the Catholics that I know, like my stepmom is Catholic, they're just very strict in their beliefs and their teachings. So I would just like to hear more from you on that area. But other than that, I enjoyed watching your video, and I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a good day.